Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I am your host, Marc Sarner, here with you every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to talk about what matters to you most, your money. You know, you've worked so hard for everything you've accumulated today. You want to make sure that it is in the best position possible. Maybe you are thinking about retirement. Maybe you are already retired. Irregardless of whatever situation you're in, you are listening to this show because you want to know how to improve, how to better your situation, how to make your retirement, your life, moving forward, doing the things that you want to do. Is going to take being efficient. That means being tax efficient, being efficient as far as your strategies for regarding inflation. And that's today's show, folks. We're going to be talking about inflation, your retirement, and how it all works. And so welcome. You can find us on the World Wide Web at wakeupretirement.net. Our operators are standing by. I'm going to give out the toll-free number in a moment because we have some great information for the first 10 callers that call into the show. They are going to get a guide and talking to you about retirement and inflation and how to improve your situation. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, Kilter Termite and Pest Control, the termite pest control leader in the North San Diego area. You know, I got to tell you, they are great, folks. They actually come out to your home, give you a free evaluation. Whether you have a pest problem or a termite problem, maybe you're not sure if you have a problem, you want to give them a call. They are standing by 858-371-2928. That is 858-371-2928. And we are back with the show now, talking to you about retirement. All issues facing retirement. Is critical that we talk about inflation. If you think about it, inflation is right about 2.5% right now. And what does that really mean? I mean, 2.5% is relatively nothing. If you take a look at a dollar today, it'll be worth 78 cents in 10 years. You know, and that same dollar will be worth 61 cents in 20 years and only 48 cents in 30 years. So if you're sitting there and you're 55 or 60 years old listening to the show, 20 years into retirement, my goodness, that's about a 40% reduction in the value of a single dollar sitting in the bank, making next to nothing in interest. Or even, for example, a lost decade where the market's correct and it takes 10 years for the money to even get back to where it was. Same type of situation applies. Inflation impacts your situation. You really need to talk to a seasoned advisor talking to you in detail about inflation. Talking to you about planning for higher costs in the future. What does that even mean? What are the predictions that we need to evaluate? Diversify your investments. Protect yourself. My mom always said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Right? We've all heard that slogan before. Account for inflation when outlining your budget. And consider different types of investments that can protect your purchasing power. And keep a plan up to date. You know, there's a lot of people that come to my workshops and they say, well, I don't even talk to my advisor. I haven't even seen him in over 2 years. Or I don't even get a phone call. You need to have an active plan that can address inflation as part of your retirement plan. You need to consider many risks in planning, especially the often ignored inflation that we're talking about today. It can really sneak up on you if you really think about it. The 2% annual that we just talked about, 2.5%, is really a problem that can creep up and cause a real effect in your retirement lifestyle. And you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I am your host, Marc Sarner, here with you every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, talking to you about what matters most to you, your money. You know, you've worked so hard for it. Now that you're not working, you need to know that your money is working just as hard as when you were sitting in the cubicle or on the platform taking a public transportation to work, or maybe you were carpooling and you were stuck in traffic all those years. Now that you're no longer doing that, in order for you to continue to do the things that you want to do in retirement, and that could be golfing, that could be spending time with the grandchildren, that could be going to European vacations, doing the things that you just love to do. You need to take a look at these strategies of keeping up with inflation. I understand why you want to make sure that you don't lose the money. That's why it's in the bank, or that's why it's in underperforming investments. You want to make sure that is keeping up with inflation. There are strategies to do it. All you need to do is go to our website, wakeupretirement.net. You can go online and get one of these guides that are going to talk to you about strategies of keeping up with inflation, or our operators are standing by right now for only the first 10 callers that call into the show. We get a lot of calls into the show, so if you're in your car right now, or if you're at home at your desk and you're listening to the show, you want to get this guide into your hands. It is toll-free, 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. And you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show, talking to you about inflation and how to put yourself in the best possible situation moving forward. So again, only 10 guides available. So get on the phone right now. Don't delay. We're going to get it in your hands. Now, you don't have to worry about someone trying to sell you something. You know, folks, we do this to educate you. This is all that I do, is specialize in retirement and pre-retirement planning and creating strategies, creating plans for retirement that are going to work, solutions that are going to work. People call up, they get the information, they take it to their current advisor. That's perfectly fine. We don't work with everyone that calls into the show. So you don't have to worry about someone just trying to hound you or sell you to do something that you don't want to do. This is valuable information for the public. You want to go ahead and call toll-free 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. So we're talking to you about retirement. Retirees suggest using different types of investments. One solution is something called TIPS, which is Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. It's very similar to T-bills. You're guaranteed to get your original investment back, and it pays a decent return that's going to keep up with inflation. You can actually position yourself in certain types of investments that have a principal guarantee, like TIPS, to create an income stream for yourself in retirement. And of course, no one can predict future costs of inflation. I believe we're going to be heading towards a period of hyperinflation, but no one has a crystal ball. At least mine doesn't work. But it's a pretty safe bet that it won't disappear altogether. And even a middle inflation rate over time can strongly erode your purchasing power. Consider this: if you were to purchase an item today for $100, that same item in 25 years is going to cost you $209, assuming an annual inflation rate of 3%. And that's pretty norm. That is a huge difference. People don't realize the effect of inflation with regards to their investments, or even just their cash at the bank. During the working years, you can only hope that your income will at least rise enough to match inflation. I don't know, my wife, she gets a dollar raise every other year. I don't know about you, but we talk about it, and actually that's a good raise rate for where my wife works. But basically, you want to make sure that you are in a position where you are hoping that your income is rising with inflation, but at least when you retire, you have a sizable nest egg. How can you minimize the impact of retirement, income inflation on your retirement? One thing you could do is you can certainly calculate inflation assumption in your budget. Another important step is maintaining an investment portfolio that can potentially provide returns well above the inflation rate. And the key word there is potential, right? Because you want to make sure your investments are properly diversified so that you can make sure that your purchasing power is growing. And so very reasonable to have a 3% inflation rate. A gallon of gas in 1985 was $1.24. And we've seen it as high as $4 now. Now it's about $3 a gallon. So inflation is a major impact. In 1985, home prices were $116,805. And according to obviously we live in the North San Diego or San Diego area, home prices are much greater than that now. Back in the day, the average car price in 1985 was $6,495. Now, average wheels are going to cost you about $32,000. So you could see the effects of inflation just by taking a look. When I was 16 years old, my minimum wage was $3.35 an hour. I used to cut sandwiches for $3.35 an hour. Obviously, minimum wage is a prime indicator of inflation. And you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. We're going to talk to you right after the break. I've got a couple of solutions for you, a couple of ideas that you're going to want to come back and listen to with regards to how to protect your money from inflation. And so we're going to talk to you right after the break. Thank you all for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with me. Welcome back to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I am your host, Marc Sarner, here with you every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, talking to you about everything that matters most to you, that allows you the freedom to do the things that you want to do. The freedom pretty soon, if you're a pre-retiree, getting ready to retire, you're looking forward to all the things that you're going to do in retirement. That's actually one of the key factors in retirement is, what do I do with all this free time? You used to get in a routine of doing things, waking up early, getting ready for work, going to work, getting stuck, coming home in traffic from work. Then you would do the things you want to do when you got home. Now you're getting ready to retire. The key factor is, what do I do now, right? So you need to have a plan for, how am I going to keep myself busy doing things in retirement? And that is a subject of another story, right? So that's an individual preference, but one of the key factors of making sure that you have enough money to do the things you want to do is the effects of inflation. And that was what we were talking about in the very first part of our show, was talking about inflation. I recently wrote an article for thestreet.com, and you can Google Marc Sarner, thestreet.com, and it'll come up. We talk about inflation as being part of your retirement plan. So that was a recent article that I did a few months ago. But really the effects of inflation can affect every single retiree. What you really want is a worry-free retirement, right? Everybody knows that life is full of ups and downs, and it's how we get through the downs that builds character. But when we talk about worry-free income, you want to know what the problem is with your retirement plan. You don't have a strategy. You want to get a plan to protect your life savings from inflation because it can actually erode your investment dollar. You know, Ronald Reagan once said the following about inflation. He said, inflation is as violent as a mugger, as frightening as an armed robber, and as deadly as a hitman. The problem is you don't see it coming. It sneaks up on you little by little, year after year, and over time, it can literally crush your lifestyle in retirement. You know, folks, if things are costing more, and you know your income is on a fixed level, you need to reevaluate. That's one of the key factors of working with a seasoned advisor is they're going to develop a plan. They're going to meet with you on a regular basis. They're going to see you. They're going to be in contact with you when things change, and you're going to want to work with someone like that. If you want to get a free, worry-free analysis to see where you stand, this is critical, folks. If you have a retirement that you're looking at and you're wondering, well, gosh, maybe I need to take a look at, am I keeping up with inflation? It very well may be that you're invested in different funds and different types of accounts, but that doesn't mean that you are in the best position possible based on your goals. So what you're going to want, what this analysis does is that it takes a look at your current savings, current investments, takes a look at the effects of Social Security, how to safeguard your investments from rising costs, and this is key, rising costs of healthcare, higher taxes, and inflation. That's healthcare, higher taxes, and inflation. That is critical in your retirement plan. Plus other strategies to ensure that you never run out of money in retirement. This is not some generic document that you can get anywhere. It's customized based on you specifically. How is that done? We factor in your age, we factor in your genetics, we factor in your income and expenses, so it's specific and customized to you, the listener who's listening to the show right now. Only the first 10 callers will get this free analysis. We normally charge for these types of analysis done by our team of money managers. You're going to want to call toll free. That's 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. That'll allow for you to listen, to what can be done. And that's what this analysis is designed to do. I want to thank our personal sponsor of our show. Again, if you have a pest and termite problem, you're going to want to call Kilter Termite and Pest Control. They are the pest and termite control leader in the North San Diego and surrounding areas. You want to get a hold of them. They will give you a free evaluation and a special discount. Mention you heard us from the Wake Up Retirement Show. They will give you a special discount. Phone number there is 858-371-2928. That is 858-371-2928. And you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I'm your host, Marc Sarner, here with you every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Talking to you about all these areas that affect you most in your retirement. We're talking about inflation, talking about addressing inflation. What are some other investments that are out there? You know that there is a CD that is out there that the interest is linked to an index like a Standard & Poor's 500 or a Dow Jones or a NASDAQ. You can actually contact your bank and they will give you information on different investments that can help you. There are other strategies that you can find in our guide. You're going to want to go to the World Wide Web at wakeupretirement.net. You're going to put in your information. You can get this guide. There's still a couple of spots available for someone to get this free guide into your hands. That is wakeupretirement.net. Our operators have told me that I have a couple of more guides available. That is 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. So every week what we do is we talk about topics that matter most. If you have a topic that you are concerned about, you can email me personally at Marc, M-A-R-C, at wakeupretirement.net, and I will talk about the topics that most concern you. Maybe you have a question that you want to email me. You could do that at Marc, M-A-R-C, at wakeupretirement.net. Be happy to give you some information about different types of investments. One of the questions that I get every once in a while is, what about annuities? I've heard that one thing you could do is you can buy an annuity. Folks, you want to be very careful in this area. There's a lot of people that are offering annuities at these different workshops. Some are good, some are bad, some are ugly. A lot of different investments have caps on them where they cap your growth. A lot of the pay rates, so a lot of them have income riders that will pay through your retirement, through your lifetime, but the payout is not as good as other ones. So you want to examine, just like anything else, you want to examine what options are available for you to get the most out of your retirement dollars, and you want to go with the plan that is going to pay you the most income with a good company that has a proven track record, and that's the key. We represent a lot of them, so we know where the good ones are, where the bad ones are, and which ones to stay away from because they're ugly. So if you're interested in those, just send me an email, Marc, M-A-R-C, at wakeupretirement.net. You are listening to the show. We are on every Saturday afternoon, so you can feel free to ask me any question that you have. We don't work with everyone that calls into the show. We are here to help. Everyone's in a different position. Everyone's in a different spot in life. Even our workshops are designed in a general fashion so that we could touch on many topics that are general to the public, so that way you can feel a sense of what we are about, and we can dissect specifically what your problem is and design a solution if it makes sense to you and your family. So again, you can go to our website at wakeupretirement.net. I want to thank our sponsor for putting on sponsoring our show, Kilter Termite and Pest Control. You can contact them at 858-371-2928. They are the termite and pest control leader in the North San Diego and surrounding areas. And we'll talk to you next week. We're going to have another guest on our show. Looking forward to talking to you next week about different topics that matter most to you, your money. Folks, have a wonderful week out there. Go and enjoy, do the things you want to do, and we will talk to you next week.